Welcome to the Blessors of Israel podcast. I'm Matthew Dodd, Executive Director of Blessors of Israel. When it comes to the Promised Land, it's been suggested that Israel forfeited or lost its claim to the Promised Land when the Jews rejected Jesus Christ. Is that true? Did Israel lose its claim to the Promised Land because the Jewish leaders rejected Jesus Christ? Answer, no. Why? Because the covenant that God established with Abram in Genesis 15 was a grant covenant. Now, if you haven't done so, I recommend that you watch episode 4 because I provide an overview of the types of covenants that God established with Israel in biblical times. You see, once you understand the different types of covenants mentioned in the Bible, you'll be able to differentiate between those covenants where God bound himself by an oath to bless Israel both unilaterally and unconditionally, versus those covenants where Israel was bound by an oath to unilaterally keep the conditions of the covenant decreed by God. As I said a moment ago, the Abrahamic Covenant recorded in Genesis 15 is a grant covenant. By way of review, in a grant covenant, the king promised to give land and or privileges to his subject. The grant covenant was unilateral, which means the king bound himself to the terms of the covenant. And the grant covenant was unconditional, which means the fulfillment of the terms of the covenant was not dependent upon the subject's obedience. So, as a grant covenant, God bound himself by an oath to give the land unilaterally and unconditionally to Abram and his descendants forever. While it's true that the Jewish leaders rejected Jesus Christ as Israel's Messiah, it's also true that their rejection of Jesus did not negate the oath that God took when he swore to give the promised land to Abram and his descendants forever. It's also important to note that Jesus pronounced judgment upon the generation that rejected him, which was fulfilled when Jerusalem fell in AD 70. Jesus prophesied of the fall of Jerusalem when he lamented, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together, the way a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were unwilling. Behold, your house is being left to you desolate. For I say to you, from now on you will not see me until you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Jesus came out from the temple and was going away, and he said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Truly I say to you, not one stone here will be left upon another which will not be torn down." Now, please notice that when Jesus pronounced judgment against Jerusalem, he also promised to return because a remnant of Jews will one day confess him as their Messiah, saying, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." This will take place at the end of the Great Tribulation, when Jesus Christ returns to deliver the remnant of Messianic Jews from the Antichrist. Question: why will there be a remnant of Messianic Jews at the end of the Great Tribulation? Answer: because God swore to give Abram and his descendants the promised land forever in Genesis 15. Descendants and the promised land, God swore to give Abram both, and God cannot lie. The Abrahamic Covenant is immutable. For Hebrews chapter 6 declares, "For when God made the promise to Abraham, since he could swear by no one greater, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply you. For men swear by one greater than themselves, and with them an oath given as confirmation is an end of every dispute. In the same way, God, desiring even more to show to the heirs of the promise the unchangeableness of his purpose, interposed with an oath, so that by two unchangeable things in which it is impossible for God to lie, we who have taken refuge would have strong encouragement to take hold of the hope set before us. Hebrews chapter 6. So, even though the Jews rejected Jesus Christ, Israel has not lost its claim to the promised land because the Abrahamic Covenant is still intact. To receive the latest news concerning Israel with biblical commentary, please visit our website at www.blessors.org. That's Blessors with an ORS.org. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Getter. And please subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels. We also appreciate your prayers and ongoing financial support as we build this new ministry. Thanks again for joining me. Remember, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Shalom, shalom.